Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for another deep dive. You sent over a whole bunch of stuff about AI and NVIDIA.
Yeah, looks like we've got research papers, news articles, even a blog post.
Definitely a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
But one thing that jumps out right away, AI
It is
is,
exploding right now.
yeah, and that means
Huge demand for people with the right skills.
exactly. It's a great time to be in this field if you're looking for a career with a lot of opportunity.
Absolutely. And these sources we've got here, they kind of lay out a roadmap for how to level up in AI,
I was going to say the same thing. And one of the big things that keeps coming up is certifications.
especially the ones NVIDIA offers.
Right. It seems like those are becoming super important if you want to land a job in AI.
Yeah, for sure. It makes sense when you think about it.
How so?
Well, AI is still pretty new, right? There's no standard way to figure out if someone actually knows their stuff.
So certifications are kind of
The
like,
way to prove you've got the skills.
yeah, like a stamp of approval from someone everyone trusts,
Exactly. And in this case, that someone is NVIDIA.
right? They're like the leaders in AI tech, so their certifications carry a lot of weight.
Plus, they've got certifications for all different levels, covering everything from AI infrastructure.
To generative AI, even
Correct.
multimodal content creation.
You got it. So no matter where you are in your AI journey, there's probably a certification for you.
And speaking of certifications, I'm looking at these two new ones, the professional level ones.
Oh, yeah. AI infrastructure and AI operations.
I'll sound pretty intense.
They're for the pros, the people who keep these crazy, complex AI systems up and running.
So we're talking like
Network and system administrators, DevOps, MLOps engineers.
people who need to know the ins and outs of the hardware and software that powers AI.
Exactly.
And the sources we've got here really break down what each certification covers.
Oh, yeah, they go deep.
Like for AI infrastructure, you need to know about installing GPUs and DPUs.
Which are graphical processing units and data processing units?
Right, just in case anyone's new to this stuff.
For sure.
Plus things like hardware validation, system optimization, even configuring MIG.
Which lets you partition a single GPU to handle multiple tasks at once.
That's wild.
Yeah. And then for AI operations, it gets even crazier.
Yeah.
You're talking about managing entire data centers packed with AI horsepower.
Wow.
Think Kubernetes for container orchestration, Slurm for workload management.
And making sure those DPUs are doing their thing to speed up all those data-intensive tasks.
Yep. It even covers things like storage configuration and security.
Because with great AI power...
Comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
Got to protect that data.
Okay. So we're not talking about some online quiz you take in your pajamas.
Oh, no, these are serious certifications.
Got to put in the work.
Yeah, speaking of putting in the work, I was reading this blog post from an embedded software engineer named Salah Hassan.
Right.
He got certified by NVIDIA, and he said it actually made him a better developer overall.
So it's not just about checking a box on your resume.
No way. It's about actually gaining knowledge that makes you better at what you do.
That's awesome proof that it's a real investment in yourself.
And it's not just about getting certified either.
What do you mean?
It's also about the learning process and the connections you make along the way.
The networking side of things.
Right. One of the articles mentioned a webinar from NVIDIA.
I saw that one. Essential training and tips to accelerate your career in AI.
That's it. And the experts in that webinar, they really stressed the importance of networking.
Yeah, and building your own personal brand.
Exactly. Like Sabrina Kumoyan, a senior software engineer at NVIDIA.
She talked about sharing your learning journey online.
Yeah. And David Ajoku, who founded demystifiedandaware.ai.
He had a really smart 3-step strategy for using LinkedIn.
Right. Step 1, find a company you'd love to work for and figure out why you're drawn to them.
Step 2.
Research the heck out of them. Learn about their projects, their goals, what they're all about.
And step 3.
Share your own story. Let people know what you're learning, where you want to go in your career.
And how your passions line up with what that company's doing.
It's all about taking initiative. Showing them you're not just applying for any job, you're going after your dream job.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's this combination of hard skills, continuous learning, and knowing how to network effectively.
Exactly.
But there's one more thing that's super important. It really stood out to me from the news articles.
What's that?
AI is always changing.
Oh, yeah, it never stops.
So if you want to stay ahead of the game, you got to keep learning.
You got it. One of the sources mentioned NVIDIA's AI Learning Essentials program.
Right. It's amazing how much free stuff they offer.
Hell, right? Introductory courses, webinars on all sorts of AI topics.
A great way to test the waters and see what you like.
And they even cover the latest stuff like generative AI and CDA.
And then there's the NVIDIA Deep Learning Institute, or DLI for short.
That's where you go when you're ready to level up.
They've got in-depth courses, live training, even specialized certifications.
You name it.
like generative AI, LLMs,
Those large language models that can write like humans is crazy.
and multimodal AI, which combines different types of data like text and images.
It's clear that NVIDIA is all in on making sure anyone who wants to learn AI can.
But, even with all this talk about technology and certifications, there's another layer to all this that I find super fascinating.
Oh, what's that?
It comes from one of the research papers you sent over.
Which one?
It's called Guide, Real-Time Human-Shaped Agents.
Ah, yeah, that one's really interesting.
It's about the connection between human cognitive skills and how well we can train AI.
You're telling me that how our brains work can actually affect how well AI learns.
That's what this study is suggesting.
Yeah,
And it's pretty mind-blowing.
yeah.
But to really understand what they found, we need to break it down a bit more.
Yeah, let's dive into that. So we were talking about that study Guide, Real-Time Human-Shaped Agents.
Right, the one that links how our brains work to how well we can train AI.
Yeah, they have people take all these different cognitive tests.
Like what kind of tests?
Oh, all sorts of stuff. Measuring their reflex speed, how well they could mentally rotate objects in their minds,
Okay,
spatial reasoning skills, even something called theory of behavior.
what's like that?
Basically, how good you are at predicting what someone else will do.
So they were really trying to get a complete picture of people's cognitive abilities.
Exactly. And then after the test, they had the participants train AI agents.
Okay.
They looked at how well the agents performed, and then they compared that to the participants' scores on those cognitive tests.
And what did they find?
A clear connection. People who scored higher on certain tests, especially the ones about mental rotation and mental fitting, they consistently trained AI agents that performed better.
Wait, mental rotation, isn't that like picturing a shape from different angles in your head?
That's the one. And the researchers think that skill, along with mental fitting, which is about understanding how shapes fit together, it helps people give better feedback to the AI during training.
Oh, I see.
They can kind of anticipate what the AI will do, spot potential problems, and guide it more effectively.
So it's like if you can visualize things well in your head, you can better understand how the AI is seeing the task and give it more precise instructions.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Did they use any specific AI tasks to test this?
They did. They had 3 different tasks: bowling, find treasure, and a 1 versus 1 hide and seek game.
Okay, now you're talking my language.
Right.
So what did the AI have to do in these games?
Well, in bowling, it had to knock down pins pretty straightforward.
Makes sense.
Find treasure involved navigating a maze to find a hidden treasure.
Oh, that sounds fun.
And in hide and seek, one AI had to find another one that was hiding in a maze.
Sounds like they were putting those AIs through their paces.
They were, and they found that certain cognitive skills were linked to better performance on certain tasks.
Like what?
For example, people with faster reflexes tended to train AI agents that were better at the hide and seek game.
Which makes sense because that game requires quick thinking and reaction.
Exactly. It's like having a coach who can think on their feet and guide the AI in a fast-paced game.
Right. What about the other tasks?
Well, bowling was pretty simple, so there wasn't much variation in how the AI performed.
Okay.
But for Find Treasure, they found that people who were good at spatial mapping, having a good sense of direction.
Like never getting lost.
Exactly. Those people trained AI agents that were more efficient at exploring the maze.
So if you're the type who can always find their way, you might have a knack for training AI to navigate.
Seems that way.
This is really making me think differently about AI. We always focus on the algorithms and the data,
Right.
but this study shows that our own cognitive abilities, they play a huge role in how AI learns and performs.
It's like AI is learning not just from data, but from human intuition and understanding.
That's a really cool way to put it.
Hmm.
So where does this leave us in terms of careers? Should we all be adding cognitive test scores to our resumes now?
It's definitely something to consider. As AI gets more advanced, we might see companies looking for people with specific cognitive skills to help train their systems.
So it could be a whole new set of criteria for job applications in the future.
It's possible.
This is incredible.
Mhm.
Okay, so we've talked about certifications, continuous learning, networking, and now even our own cognitive skills are part of the equation. It feels like the AI career landscape is changing so fast.
It is. There are always new opportunities and new challenges popping up.
And as we keep exploring the potential of AI, one thing's for sure.
What's that?
Staying ahead of the curve means never stopping learning, being open to new technologies, and really understanding both the technical and the human side of this amazing field.
I couldn't agree more.
This has been an eye-opening deep dive. We've learned so much about the exciting careers you can have in AI and how important it is to keep expanding your knowledge and skills.
Yeah.
Before we wrap up, I think it's important to circle back to the more practical stuff.
Yeah, like how to actually get started in this field.
Exactly.
Right.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the details of NVIDIA certifications to the mind-blowing connection between our brains and AI training.
It's a lot to take in.
Let's take a minute to distill all this information into some actionable steps that our listener can take to kickstart their AI journey.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
All right, so we've talked a lot about how to boost your AI career, but let's break it down. Where should someone even start?
Well, first you got to figure out what you're actually interested in.
Right. What gets you excited about AI?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are you more into the hardware and infrastructure side of things?
Or the algorithms and the data that make AI work?
Once you have a general idea of what you like, then you can start exploring the resources we talked about.
And those NVIDIA certifications are a good place to look.
Definitely. They've got certifications for pretty much every level, from the basics to super specialized areas.
So if you're serious about working directly with AI systems, those NVIDIA certified professional certifications for AI infrastructure and AI operations, those are worth checking out.
For sure. But what if you're just starting out?
Yeah, those sound pretty intense.
Well, that's where NVIDIA's AI Learning Essentials program comes in. It's free, and it's got introductory courses and webinars on all kinds of AI topics.
It's a great way to get your feet wet.
Exactly. See what sparks your interest.
Yeah.
And they even cover the really cool stuff like generative AI and CUD.
And then there's the NVIDIA Deep Learning Institute, or DLI.
That's the next level.
Yeah, once you've got the basics down, DLI is where you can really dive deep. They've got more in-depth courses, live training, and even those specialized certifications in things like generative AI, LLMs, and multimodal AI.
Basically, if you want to learn about AI, NVIDIA's got you covered.
It's amazing how much they offer. But beyond the technical skills, we can't forget about networking.
Oh, yeah, that's huge. Remember those tips from the NVIDIA webinar?
Find companies you're interested in, research what they're doing, and then use platforms like LinkedIn to show off your skills and your passion.
Right. It's about being proactive, showing them that you're not just looking for any job, but that you're really interested in what they're doing.
And through it all, never stop learning.
AI is always changing, so you got to stay curious and keep those skills sharp.
You know, it's funny thinking back to that research paper about cognitive skills and AI training. It makes you wonder what the future holds for AI careers.
For real, what if certain cognitive abilities become just as important as technical skills?
It could happen. And it just goes to show that AI isn't just about coding and algorithms. It's also about human intuition, creativity, problem solving, all that good stuff.
It's like AI is pushing us to evolve not just technologically, but also intellectually.
It's a pretty exciting time to be a part of all this.
It really is. And to everyone listening out there, I encourage you to dive in, explore all the resources out there, and never stop learning. The world of AI is full of possibilities.
Well said. So with that, we'll wrap up this deep dive into the exciting world of AI and career growth. We hope you learned a lot, and we'll see you next time.